bother. Oh, bother. Oops. Oh, lights. What's going on, beautiful people? What y'all doing? Y'all good? Good. You know what I like when people post on Facebook when they say stuff like, you know what you lost in me? And like, you're like, who the fuck are you talking to? Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta work on that. What's going on, beautiful people? What's wrong with that light? It looks green. All right, let's get into today's show. If this is the first time watching, please consider subscribing and liking. We would appreciate that over here at the Kasabian Lavoe Show. The more likes we get on our episodes, the more people get to see us, and it definitely helps. And it doesn't cost to support. We just appreciate our supportive community. Thank you. And this is like, you are the live studio audience to my podcast. Is there static? Like, is it popping? I can't tell. Well, you're the live studio audience to my podcast. It's actually like a news show. It's a variety infotainment show. That's what it is. Please hold. I'm trying to see if it's popping. I hear something in my headphones, but I can't tell if it's the show. Sorry, y'all. It's like pulling teeth. It's like really pulling teeth. What's everybody up to today? Today's show is going to be interesting, right? Because it's almost a lot of just like made up things going on right now in the world, and it's pretty interesting. So I'll break down everything we're going to jump into. Hopefully it's not popping. Wait, did I just hear that? Oh, I'm tripping. Yo, all right. We got to like spin the whole show back. I can't tell what's going on, and nobody's answering. So this is great. Really. Jesus. Oh, I just want to cuss right now. I'm just going to go for it. If the show sounds like shit, fuck it. Tough noogies, and that's how I feel about it. If I had something in my hands, I would throw it. That's it. If you can't hear the music, you're watching. Head over to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Head over to kalavo.com and you can listen to the song of the show. And you can enjoy the tunes before we tap in. Yeah. Hey. It's Spanish music, y'all. It's Kasabian. Kasabian Lavoe Wine. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe. Welcome to the Kasabian Lavoe Show, live from Las Vegas, behind the microphone with talent on loan from God. A beautiful fall day. Today is the first day of fall, and Vegas is feeling and looking phenomenal. Unfortunately, I'm not having a good day right now. I'm really upset. I'm telling you, if I had something in my hand, I'd throw it. Shout out to all my podcast listeners. I'm sorry that I haven't been shouting y'all out. I'm trying to figure out a different way how to say hi to y'all. So what's up to all my podcast listeners? For the millions and millions of y'all that are listening, we appreciate you. And I thank you for riding with your boy. I apologize for our last episode. There was an error in the server. So when we tried to upload the radio show last week, that didn't even upload. And our last episode uploaded late. Sorry. I really apologize. And shout out to everybody that's watching. Thank you for being here. You're a part of the live studio audience. Consider liking and subscribing. We really would appreciate that because that way the show gets bigger and stuff. And I need to buy a new laptop. Shit's expensive. Everybody thinks I just got money to burn. Like I'm just sitting here just making all this money. I'm like, hey man, I'm not Rush Limbaugh yet. Like I'm working on it. I really am. So I feel like I should be playing music sometimes. So I just have music playing in the background. Do. This is Vegas. I should get like a funky like 70s retro style set. Oh, would y'all like that? I'd like that. All right. So first off, Candace Owens is a clown for what she said. She needs to get checked. A lot of conservatives don't get checked and do a lot of dumb shit like this. Candace needs to get checked. This is stupid as shit what she said. Now we're going to talk about this whole white women syndrome shit because I think it's hilarious. But Candace Owens, you wrong for that, and you do this a lot, and you get away with it because nobody checks your ass. Chill. Conservatives need to do a better job of checking each other. That's a weakness. You guys just let each other talk reckless. Don't be afraid to say something to her because she's black. That's another thing too. Y'all scared the shit of her. If y'all don't tell her ass to sit down and shut the fuck up, this don't make no sense. Her tweet is stupid as shit. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Like that, this is the dumbest shit I've heard her say yet. And I apologize for starting the show that way, but Candace Owens is a fucking clown for that, yo. So another thing that's pissing me off, let me get into the topics. Okay, so we'll be talking about missing white women syndrome, because I think it's the most amazing thing that I've ever heard in my entire life next to Santa Claus. And if you live under a rock or you don't care about sports, Canelo and Plant yesterday when they did the face-off in the weigh-in was probably the dopest shit I've seen all year. Like, it's amazing how good they're going to make boxing at this moment. Like, those two guys are definitely bringing back the thrill in boxing. Honestly, like, that hit Canelo, like, he took his glasses off and... All right, we'll get into it. Let's recap Joyner and Karen Civil, and then we'll get into Joyner and United Masters. I didn't want to talk about it the last episode. I felt like there was so much going on around Karen. This time I want to talk about Joyner and why he's a clown and learn some more about business today. This is Business 102 today, and we'll be talking about copyrights and what happens when you have a similar copyright. Anyway, or similar idea to somebody that's bigger than you. We'll get into it. Definitely get into it. What else? Oh, yeah, hey, is it nowadays or now-end-days? Like, do you go, hey, so now-end-days? Or do you say nowadays? Now-end-days? Nowadays. So now-end-days, people say nowadays. Or people say now-end-days. Why is it that people want to pronunciate? Is it because of the caption thing? Because I talk mad fast, and the caption can't keep up with me when I start really going. So I noticed that if I have to pronunciate, I have to really extensiate the words to make them sound like that. So again, is it now-end-days or now-a-days? Comment below. Consider subscribing. I just think that's like the sweetest thing to say. Hey, can you consider subscribing? Like, I don't even want to bother you or take you out of your day-to-day. But if you subscribe, you're going to watch like some really dope content. I promise. So here's a great one. Facebook's been faking their numbers. I know that's interesting to people that pay for ads. And guess what? In this industry, that's pretty much all we do. We spend so much money on marketing. As a realtor, this is very disheartening. And I really want to know why this is happening. Also, Nicky Minaj's husband is pretty much donezo. What happens to Nicki after this? Honestly, this has to be a blow to her career and her legacy, but I think we should talk about it. Another bonus that I was going to talk about was what hedge funds have been doing in small cities and how they're ruining the middle class, but I think I might save that for Friday. So for today, we'll just jump into this. Now, I want to say, first off, I'm disappointed in all of our leadership that decided to step up and say something about the problem with the Haitians at the border. I don't think that you're doing anything to help the situation besides talking out of the side of your neck. If they would have come together and put together a real immigration reform, we wouldn't even have this happening right now. We need to close our borders, period. The way they're handling the situation is disgusting. We need to find out why they're here, how they get here, and what's really going on. We do know that there's a crisis going on in Haiti. Why aren't we helping? You see, when people are coming from the southern border, unfortunately, it's so many countries that when they get here, they're not necessarily in a bad space. It just might be a shitty country at the time. They might not be in the best of situations, but we all know that they get funded to come to our border. You see, it kind of seems the same thing happened with the Haitians. Now, I'm not okay with the egregious manner of these guys on horses. They're not whipping them either. That's the reins of the horses, and that's the whips that they actually use to hit the horse and guide the horse. I'm not okay with them even having that shit in their hands. I've been hit by a horse. Here in Vegas, if you walk down the strip on New Year's, there's police on horses, and I've gotten hit by the ass of a horse. Not fun. Not fun. And then never mind. I'm not even going to do that. Let me stop talking shit. So, the pictures look horrendous. Is there a solution? I don't know. But if so much money was allocated to help the other people that were coming in, why can't we just help these people? We honestly know that these people are going through some things. And I find it funny that our administration can't, hold the line. How come they're not getting checked for COVID? How come they're not getting mandatory shots? You see, shit like that keeps on happening, that gets better and better. On top of our president, Joe Biden, today fell asleep, and they stopped the whole fucking meeting right in front of everybody because he fell asleep. He was literally sitting there like this. He said, other dude was talking. This is Joe. Huh? Okay, we're done, everybody. Let's go. And he said, what are we doing? That's our leader. That's our leader. This is great. Missing white women syndrome. I know what you're thinking. This has to be the biggest issue next to COVID-19 and the vaccine, right? Missing white women syndrome. So, Gabby Petito went missing a couple weeks ago now. The story goes her and her boyfriend, who are influencers, probably not the most popular, but definitely have a following. They're influencers. Decided to start a road trip in a Ford van. They started in New York City, went down to their hometown in Florida, and headed over west, where basically something happened in their relationship where they had a domestic incident. They were actually pulled over for reckless driving, and he had physical marks on his face. I actually watched the body cam footage. It was pretty gross, but during the body cam, mind you, the being pulled over, talking to them, the whole situation lasted about an hour and a half. So they were in police presence for about a good 90 minutes. So it wasn't like they just pulled him over and said, okay, be on your way. The one cop was actually very understanding, almost too understanding. You know, you're almost like, damn, this dude is like way too okay with him and her arguing this way. I have daughters. This shit scares me. I don't want to see my daughters dealing with... Damn. You see, that's hard, right? Like, I don't want my daughters to ever have to count on the police for this type of stuff. Like, I feel like it don't work. It ain't working for me. They're not handling things the way I think that it should be handled. She should have been sent on her way, and he should have been sent on his way. And unfortunately, I just don't understand how do we... It's a deeper incident than just this white women syndrome thing, and that's where I think the where everything is getting diluted. Like, did the police handle it well? I believe so. Could they have handled it better? One would hope, but nonetheless, was it a fuck up? Damn, like this one's hard. This one's hard. I don't know if they did wrong, but as a father, if my daughter's in a situation like that, one, I want to be contacted immediately. And me being the asshole that I am, I'm going to pull up in the middle of nowhere. What's up? What's the problem? What's good? What we doing in here? We good? I'll drive the motherfucking van, hold the camera, start filming for YouTube, and let's go. Right? I could do that. Like, I'm that type of dad. But I don't know what the situation was or what really happened, and it just seemed to get bad. Now, Joy Reid came out and said that America has missing white women syndrome, where we're basically just completely infatuated with missing white women, and that when women of color or indigenous women come up missing, nobody cares, nobody talks about it. And honestly, I think that there is some type of syndrome, but I don't know exactly where you would come up with this type of information. But I can say that I feel like we're almost trained to worry about missing white girls, you know, like Sleeping Beauty, the white girl in the tower, like shit like that. Like, as a kid, you always see white girls being like kidnapped. And then when you see Spanish girls or black girls, there's always some dumb shit like they're drug dealers, they're fucking mules, they're pregnant, young, you know, their boyfriend's some gangster that looks like me. It's never like, oh shit, the pretty Puerto Rican girl stuck in the Bronx and we got to get out of the tower. No, it's like she's a drug dealer, a queen from the South, right? So when you see a white girl missing, everybody's like, oh my God, the white girl's missing. We gotta save her. But in this case, I think it was just their YouTube presence and their influencer presence, because although there are many people missing in many cities, I think localized, if you live in the area, you may have a better idea of what's going on. I would like to say this, though. Daniel Robinson, he's a geologist. He's 24 years old. He's a black man. He went missing earlier this year. He was last seen June 23rd driving a Jeep Renegade off of his work site. Hasn't been seen since. Last seen on Sunset Valley Parkway and Cactus Road. So if you've seen him out there in... Please, I don't want to get the wrong location. Is it Wyoming? Was it? Yes, Wyoming. Please, report this to the authorities. I'm sure his family would appreciate at least getting some type of information as to what is going on with this young man. And I don't think that people don't pay attention to colored people that are missing. I think that's not the case at all. I just believe that this is very localized, and this story kind of took off because, yes, in a time of so much bullshit, like we finally had a little gap of just like something fun. I don't know. Not fun. Damn, let me take that back. I redact everything I just said. Damn, this is why live is so sketchy. I'm going to have to cut that right the fuck out. I'm just saying the idea of the story is titillizing. We definitely fucking fall in love with the crazy story. So with a time like this going on, we hear some shit like this about this girl missing and everybody goes crazy for it. I mean, I can't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what they're doing, but I don't think this is some type of syndrome where we take care of white chicks over colored women at all. I think everything is very localized and small in fashion. This just was something because of the influencers. If they weren't influencers, nobody would have gave a shit. Nobody cared. So Canelo and Plant, they squared up yesterday. Canelo's a big boy, okay? He's not to play with, and I don't think that this Plant dude knows what he's getting into. Now, I love boxing because this is the ultimate sport. I'm not good at shit else, but I'll go out fighting, and even if I lose, I'm still going to go out fighting, right? Canelo was face-to-face with Plant. They were arguing or saying something was being said. You couldn't really hear it. It wasn't audible at all. There wasn't any hot mics nearby. But Plant had his hands behind his back as they squared up and they argued. And then something Plant said sparked Canelo to push him. And not no regular push. Like, he literally squared up through the push and shoved him with all his might. Plant's hands went like this, and his glasses went flappy flap like that. Some lady reached up and she was like, "No, don't do it. Don't hit him, love. Don't do that." And Canelo was like, "What's the matter with you, motherfucker? You gonna fight? You gonna fight, motherfucker, that bitch?" And Plant came and like threw a slap because they can't punch each other. It's against the law for them to hit each other and they'll lose their money. So Plant threw a slap, right? And when he threw it, Canelo moved and like Plant like gently like this. Watch. Fucking. He swung at Canelo. Canelo moved out the way so fast it was like Goku. He just went. Canelo said, "What the fuck?" Bow. Gave him a bofotazo right back, but as he cracked him with that left, he took his glasses off. So Canelo was able to honestly like get his face rubbed and then boom, slapped the shit out of him to the point where he broke his face open. It's fucking amazing. So exciting. They haven't even fought yet. I know nobody cares. That might just be me. I just thought it was so beautiful how he was able to move away from the slap to make it look as if it was just a graceful, simple little touch. And as he was moving, remove his glasses with his right hand and swing with the wrath of God, bro, with that left. Bow! And then throw the right just in case you wanted some more. What's up? Just like that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fucking love it. If you didn't see that shit, you wildin'. That was great. So Joyner Lucas was on fire this week, and I want to wrap this up because I think it's very interesting what's going on with him, and it should be talked about. So the story was all over the place, but I had to get somewhere to get a little more information, so I went to Hip Hop DX with this story. So after Joyner and Karen finished up their beef, then Joyner decided to jump. So first and foremost, let me say, I don't like Joyner Lucas. I think he's a sucker. I think he's corny, and the reason why it took $500,000 plus to see him even make a splash was because it's trash. That's how I feel. Take it how you want to take it. I don't give a shit. If it don't work, it don't work. I don't care. I'm of the belief that when it works, and when it don't, it don't. Now, you can pay your way to the top. Everybody can do that. I'm not saying you can't. In this instance, I'm just letting you know this is some sucker ass shit. Joyner Lucas hires Karen Civil to do some type of marketing and to help promote this young man's career early on. She presented them a plan and charged $60,000. Now, there wasn't any payment set up. There wasn't any any media decks. There was nothing to show previous anything. Joyner Lucas went in there and said, "I've seen what you've done. I love everything you've done. I threw my hands on her and I trusted her." What? Fuck for? You don't know this lady. $60K is a lot of money. I'm not just forking over $60,000. I'm not even going to give you $20 without knowing what the fuck is going on. He gave up $60,000, him and his business partner, which leads me to believe that the person that was working with him has nothing to do with music and is probably a family member that just had money. So feel me, right? $500,000 already spent. Nobody bats an eye. They give 60 straight up front, a full clip to Karen, and now you stole from my baby. That's where the sucker shit starts, right? Because his tweet was, "Oh, you stole my last $60K from my baby." No, she didn't. You had an investor. That shit had nothing to do with your baby. You and your investor made a shitty business move. Tons of businesses spend millions of dollars, go belly up all the time. There's nothing different and there's nothing special about Joyner Lucas. This shit happens all the time. He did bad business because he went along and gave the full amount. The full amount. It just leads me to think that the person that's managing him was like his grandma, and she had like life insurance on his father or his mother, and somebody passed, and they had all this money, and he said, "No, grandma, I'm gonna make this shit work. I'm gonna, you know what dudes do with girls' tax money, right?" That situation happened, and then it became a big deal. Some suck ass shit. He got his face out there. Cool, that worked. Whatever. Then he went at Steve Stout in United Masters. If you don't know who Steve Stout is, we need to have an episode on Steve Stout. Steve Stout is a very, very, very key figure in music, hip hop, and in 90s, now 2000s. I mean, Steve Stout is very active today. As a matter of fact, he's the guy that started United Masters. So, from what I gathered from the story, because I thought it was a real story. Let me just be honest with you. I thought it was legit. I thought it was something that was really going on. But in layman's terms, just to be, because it just seemed like this is why it's corny. This shit to me is so corny because he's like a damn. I don't even know what the description would be. Like, I wish I had a good description for it because he's only talking shit because people are listening. If that makes sense. Like, you know, he's a viral artist. All he does is like spur of the moment shit. The dude don't do nothing unique. It's just like he started talking shit about Karen. A couple people were talking shit about Karen. It bubbled up. And then he goes, "You know what? And fuck Steve Stout because you stole my idea." Wrong. That's what we got to talk about it. So here he goes. Karen Civil's a small fry. How about we talk about a guy that got over $100 million to help serve artists with tech? $50 million from Apple just a month ago. At Steve Stout and at United Masters, you lame as fuck. You raised $50 million from Apple to help artists in their careers at United Masters, but you just paid lawyers thousands to send me, an independent artist, a copyright infringement saying the words record label in your pocket. Wait, why is that even a thing? How are you acting any different than major labels? So that's funny. You got a copyright strike. You shouldn't be using those words. You should have copywritten that first. You should have taken your idea and got it trademarked. This shit happens all the time. You're a sucker. That's all. You're an independent sucker. Like you've had a deal. You were fucking with people that could have really put more money in your pocket. You blew it. But you are a sucker. And that's all this shit is. United Masters ain't steal shit from you. Steve Stout ain't steal shit from you. If you ain't signed to United Masters, what the fuck does Steve Stout have to do with your career and anything you do? If you had this application that happened to use those words in their trademark and they happen to be the bigger fish, guess what? That shit happens all the time. People buy domains all the time and sell them to bigger people. Like when the Raiders were coming to Vegas, mad people were buying those domains to stop them from owning certain websites just to make a bag. Yo, Google lost their domain at one point because they forgot to renew it. Google. Think about that. I think the kid closed like $200,000. Business. If you have an idea, take it somewhere that will get trademarked and protect it. Protect your idea. Invest in yourself. Like when the artist approached me with his shitty music and he tells me that he wants people to feel him and he wants it to be grimy and shitty like that. And I say, no, I want quality. Invest in yourself. Go buy the microphone. Go find an engineer. Go find a studio that's going to put time into your fucking craft. I learned all of it. I couldn't afford engineers. I had to learn the shit on my own. I had to learn how to cut my vocals. I had to learn how to engineer my own sessions because that shit got expensive. And then I just opened my own studio and had engineers that worked for me. And that was all before the big money. You see what I'm saying? Like, you cannot tell me you cannot do something that puts out a great product on your own that you can bring to the public and you know, stand on it. Joyner had an idea. Unfortunately, a bigger fish had the same idea, and that fish had the money to do it. This happens all the time. You can't be mad at it. You just got to be better. And if your product is good, you shouldn't even worry about it. This type of controversy would help you. Instead, he's being a suck ass. He's a pocket counter, bro. He's worried about what's going on in their pocket. And then he's just saying this stupid shit for people to go, oh, you're a fucking chatty patty and I'll never do business with you. That's all that is. So if you have an idea, protect it. Invest in yourself. Don't be Joyner Lucas. Be better than Joyner Lucas. I need a chair sponsor. Who's going to sponsor my chair? We need something dope because this chair is squeaking and it's driving me nuts. I used to say that on stage. I used to say, what does a pirate say? What the fuck did I used to say? I don't know. Okay. This one's a very interesting story that I think as a person that's in media, you see me online all the time, we should definitely talk about. If you pay for ads, this is a big deal. So Facebook has mistakenly calculated the effectiveness of many ad campaigns over the past few months as the company has Contended with my bad. I gotta move that damn screen. It's contended with. Let me hold on. Let's just use this one over here. Shush. Where was I? The effectiveness of many campaigns over the past few months as the company has contended with changes Apple and its iPhone software. Ooh, is that what it was? Okay, so this is interesting. Do you know that Apple's been protecting us with their new software to help stop tracking, right? Now, I don't understand what that would affect Facebook, but I knew that this was going to cause an issue. Now, I didn't see this issue coming. So because they're tracing you, like they use the Pixel to watch you, if you're in marketing, you know what I'm talking about. So if they're watching your moves with Pixel or they're tracing you with ad trackers and whatnot, this might come to an end, but this might cause a big issue because the information and the analytics that we're getting from the ads are not as effective, especially if they're just making shit up. Facebook has mistakenly calculated the effectiveness of campaign ads over the past few months, and the company has contended with changes that Apple made to its iPhone software. In some cases, Facebook says initial reports to some advertisers show campaigns were 15% less successful than they actually were. That's a big deal because that shit costs a lot of money. That costs a lot of money. I mean, we're talking millions in some cases. I'm trying to do the math, please. Give me a second. Okay, so 15% off. Let's just say you paid to reach at least 5,000 people. Okay, and then they tell you reached 2,000 people, but in reality, you didn't even reach that, right? You reached a little bit shorter than that, but you paid for some average of at least 3,000 to 5,000, right? That's kind of how it works, and they want to put you in places where people like what you are selling, or people have similar interest in what you have as a product. Now, if Apple can't trace, if Facebook cannot trace that and give you the proper information, that means that they're just gonna keep on making shit up, which then is gonna have to lower what they charge because you pay for the quality of information. This is a bigger deal than it even seems now because I wonder what else they're doing because they've already been known for throttling down. They hide likes. They shadow ban people all the time. Now they can't even keep track of their own numbers. Where do they go from here? It's really interesting, especially with Apple's new phone coming out, the 13, the iOS 15 dropped yesterday. A lot of people have been updating their phones. A lot of changes coming. All devices have been changing. So to see Facebook having issues is very interesting because this is going to affect their money. People are going to start pulling back from spending money with Facebook for marketing. Now, Nicky Minaj and her husband are going through a bit of turmoil today. So the show The Real today had on Nicki Minaj's husband's, I should stop saying her name. His name is Kenneth Petty. They had Kenneth Petty's alleged victim on. So let me say this, full disclosure, I am not 1,000% aware of the case fully. From what I have read, the case was an alleged rape charge. So he's a sex assault. What they even put him as? Because he pled guilty. So this is weird. He pled guilty to attempted rape. So, I mean, I think that puts him on the list where he has to register and like wear the jacket and whatnot. And Halloween, people can't knock on his door. But, okay. Taking the charge and then going to jail. This all happened years ago. First off, this happened in the 90s. I want that to be understood too. So it doesn't matter when it happened. I'm not necessarily justifying when it happened. I'm just trying to justify the fact that he went and did time for the crime. But it wasn't rape. It says it was attempted rape. And he did go to jail for it. So it wasn't like he just didn't go to jail. Now, the alleged victim of, I'm not going to say Nicki's name. I just don't want to. The alleged victim of Kenneth Petty is tired of being afraid. In the first television interview since filing a lawsuit against Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty, with The Real, Jennifer Hewitt, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, recounted the day that she was allegedly raped by Petty. Oh, I should bleep those out. And the fear she has faced ever since he married see why they do this, the Barbie Dreams rapper, including a seemingly death threat. She broke it down on the show. I don't know if I want to read that here, but she basically said Nicki called and was like, hey, yo, quit playing or I'm going to blow you. As to what she hopes to come from the lawsuit, okay. And this is where this whole lawsuit thing gets weird. So allegedly, the girl's been basically pressed by Nicki and her husband and getting death threats, and she wants to sue to stop it. So she wants $500,000 and she wants Petty, she's looking for $500,000, $500,000. She said she wants Petty to know that they were wrong and that you can't do this to people. And he didn't do something a long time ago. And he did do something a long time ago. And he had consequences that was supposed to stick with. I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like, who are you to judge the time? Like, that's where it gets sticky to me. Like, I understand you're going through some stuff and you see an opportunity to make money off of it, and it might help you in your time of need. And nobody should be treated any type of way. There should be no communication between you and your alleged sex offender. Like, that is insane that he's even allowed to speak to her, or that Nicky's allowed to even make those phone calls. Like, if those phone calls are real, that lawsuit might be a little heavier than $500,000. I don't think that that's okay. And how does this affect Nicki Minaj's career? Like, where do we go from here with Nicki? Like, do we just allow this to just go on? Or is this it? Do we say, you know what? You had your run. We're going to wrap this up. She had that decision to stay with this man and lay down and have a baby with this man, knowing that he was already in these issues. He was in jail for this shit. So it wasn't like a surprise. I don't know. What say you? I'm going to go play video games with my... Oh, yeah, I made a TikTok. Kasabian Lavoe. Look me up. I'm going to go play video games with my friends. My name is Kasabian. Live in the moment. Don't live in the past. Be safe. Stay dangerous. Lavoe loves you. One.